Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. I'm Owen James. This is all your latest Rangers news, where yet again, Rangers board have shown that they are little more than an ostrich with its head in the sand, a dumpster on fire going through a flooded river. They are out of control. They do not know what they are doing. They have about as much, they have about as much brain between them as a lobotomized psychopath in a mental institution back in Victorian times. They really do have absolutely no clue what they are doing. It is almost like it is on fire and they found some liquid. They haven't bothered to check what that liquid is. They've just chucked it on and oh shit, it's petrol. So it is genuinely just massive gross incompetence from our board. I think you look at it today, the announcement that's been made today, Rangers FC are delighted to confirm the appointment of Nils Koppen as technical director. So Nils Koppen takes over as the new sporting director. He's in charge of everything, the men's team, the academies, everything. He is the sporting guru now behind it with his kind of spider web approach of fingering every pie and trying to take over a lot of that side and perhaps take things off Philippe Clement to some degree. But does this mean that we have a new head of recruitment? No, it does not mean we have a new head of recruitment, because who is the head of recruitment at Rangers at this moment in time, and who will continue to be the head of recruitment at Rangers at this time? Well, it will be Nils Koppen. He'll be in charge of scouting for new players at this moment in time. Well, it will be Nils Koppen. Who will be in charge of the whole sort of sporting side of the club? It will be Nils Koppen. Well, we know that giving one person more than one job to do, well, I'll rephrase that. Giving one person more than one major job to do at a football club is not, has never been, and will never be a sensible thing to do. It just smacks of absolute incompetence. It smacks of absolute ridiculousness. And it shows us that the board and the virus that is Jabba the Park, the Sun, and wherever the Douglas Park are not fit to run this club. They are an absolute shambles and they need to go. I would urge every Rangers fan to boycott games. I would urge every Rangers fan to protest outside the ground. I would urge every Rangers fan to protest outside the training ground. I would urge every Rangers fan to protest outside every Park family business to get this board gone sooner rather than later. Let them know we will not tolerate they're running this club into the ground, which is what they are currently doing. And I call on the big fan groups, the big podcasts, Rangers Rabble, Heart and Hand, Rangers Review, who won't have the balls to do this, Four Lads, Stevie Clifford. Guys, show some balls, press conferences, call this club out for what it is. Call this board out for what it is. Tell them that they are not fit. Tell them that they are incompetent. Go after them. Don't be scared. I know you won't, but do it. I mean, CJ Novo himself even tweeted out underneath the Rangers, and I admire CJ. CJ is a great guy, a top guy. Another guy like myself who cares about this club and just wants the best for this club. Someone who has the balls to call people out. He says, to be fair, giving someone more than one job role to do at the club has worked out brilliantly recently. Nice sarcasm there from CJ. Definitely not clear examples of that not working out each and every time it's been done. I mean, CJ is absolutely spot on. I mean, you're putting a situation in place where recently we have promoted David McCullum, I think his name is, to the head of the academy, taking over Zeb Jacobs' job on an interim basis. We've got now an interim chairman, and we've now got someone who has at least 3 major jobs in the football club. If anything smacks of shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic, if anything smacks of this ship is drifting towards the iceberg, there is no rudder, there is no captain, and if anything smacks of utter incompetence, then it is this that is currently happening. It is this that is currently being done to the club by this board. Also, do you know what else this smacks of? It smacks of the fact that we are utterly skint. And that's why we are not bringing in people from outside, because we cannot afford to employ them. We cannot afford to pay compensation packages. We haven't got any money. We are skint. And as much as it pains me to say it, that lot across the city are right in a way calling us Skint FC, because at the moment we are Skint FC. And until we get new investment from outside, until somebody who comes in who actually cares about this club, who actually wants to run this club to be a success, nothing will change. Nothing will change. As long as the Park family continue to be allowed to run this club into the ground, just and run this club for their own benefit, like some free ATM, then at the end of the day, nothing will change. And the people said, oh, well, they've paid this off. Well, if you look at the accounts, it's actually John Bennett who's paid the majority of the money to keep this club going. The club owe John Bennett over £11 million. So it's not the Parks, it's actually him. So get your facts straight. This move is just, I don't know, it doesn't work. I mean, it just does not work on any level. It would work if you were promoting Nils Koppen and saying, right, we are promoting Nils Koppen to be technical director and we are bringing in Bob Smith as the new head of scouting. Okay, that would work. But at this moment in time, it is giving one man 3 jobs to do. And we are heading towards a January transfer window where all of his time will need to be taken up by obviously planning for that January transfer window, by getting things ready for that January transfer window, by scouting signings, if we've got any money, which I doubt. And you're giving him more work to do. I mean, it just is galactically incompetent from the board. Now, the idea of creating this position is a good one, don't get me wrong. But for me, Nils Koppen is the wrong man to take that job. He has never done a job like this in his entire life. He has not run a big major football club. He was director of scouting at PSV. The guy was called De Jong. I think it was John De Jong who was the actual technical director of PSV. This really was a situation where Rangers needed to go out there, look at possible candidates, bring in someone with a fresh set of eyes who could come in, look at the football club and go, right, this isn't working, that isn't working, that's working well, keep doing that, that's good, keep doing that, that's not working, and that's just awful. So that's what we need to do. So those things we leave because they're great, but these things here, we need to change. You need someone with fresh eyes. The issue is when you constantly promote from within, no one brings in fresh ideas. No one brings in fresh ideas because as far as they're concerned, the decisions they're taking, what they've done to that point has been fantastic because they're not going to want to show themselves up to being competent. So again, another bad decision by the board. This appointment is just, like I said, it just smacks again of absolute incompetence. It's like this board stagger from one disaster to another, to another, to another, to another. And like I said, you know, as a group, as a Rangers podcast group, all the podcasts, you know, all of the podcasts, the Rabble, Heart and Hand, Four Lads, Rangers Review, Gallant Few, Not Another Rangers Podcast, Rangers Journal, Ibrox Channel, every other Saturday. I know I'm forgetting some Blue Sea podcast, or everyone, you know, needs to come together now and demand change, demand this board go, demand this club is massively overhauled, that new investors are found, that the present board are kicked out root and branch. I do not want new investors coming in, investing into this football club, and anybody from this present board remaining whilst those new investors are in place. Any new investment into this club has to be in the full view of an absolute, complete and utter takeover of this football club. It cannot be allowing investors to come in and be controlled and manipulated by the present board, who have shown time after time they're interested in only themselves, the status of being a Rangers director, and using the club as an ATM to take money out of when they see fit. And a group that don't want us to win trophies, that don't care about us winning trophies. As long as we finish second, get into Europe, make some money, they don't care. They couldn't give a shit. They genuinely couldn't give a shit. They don't want this football club to do well. They've shown that through their decision-making processes, through the way they've run this football club for the last 12 years. It really has been an utter disaster, with the exception possibly of when Dave King was chairman. Now, I know Dodgy Dave King is what some of you call him, but I'll be honest with you, I'd rather take him as chairman now, him controlling the situation, than anybody who is presently at the football club. John Gilligan is like a senile old grandpa who is being controlled like some Jeff Dunham doll by Douglas Park, with his hand up his arse, using him like a ventriloquist dummy. That's what's happening at this football club. If you can't see that, give your head a wobble. Wake up. Wake up. But again, this club are just lurching from a disaster to disaster to disaster. Every appointment is just shows that there is no vision, there is no future direction, there is no investment, there is no build-up of talent within this football club. It's all short-termism. It's all just ridiculousness. It's all just, well, let's try and get this person here to try and shut them up on that. It doesn't work. I'm not going anywhere. Rangers Football Club, look, I've got no axe to grind. I'm not interested in press access. I'm not interested in crawling up Rangers Football Club's arse. If they're being a bunch of wankers, I will call them a bunch of wankers. If Douglas Park needs to go, I will call him out. If Graham Park is a disgrace, I will call him what he is, a disgrace. I'm not standing down from this. I am not backing down from this. And I know that will not be popular with everybody. And I know that you've got some journalists who will be licking Rangers backside's arse, licking Rangers arse over this decision. The likes of obviously of Johnny McFarlane, who, this morning already is on the arse lick already, but what do you expect from a Hibs fan? So look, it is what it is, guys. It's just another appointment that, like I said, smacks of deck chair shuffling on a Titanic and the fact that we are utterly skint. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on this. Thank you for watching. Please smash a like, smash a sub, all that great stuff. And remember always, we are the people.